Well, welcome along to the continuation of Portfolio Landlords Week here on Property Tribes, and we are shining our spotlight on portfolio landlords because there's a definite gap widening between small landlords with 3 or less properties and portfolio landlords who we identify as 4 or more properties. And we're here at the Landlord and Investment Show at Olympia, and we've bumped into some PT members, which is always great. And I'm joined by Angela and JP, who are a husband and wife team. And guys, lovely to meet you here at the show. And why did you come out today? Because I think, just before we got started, we were talking about it can be quite lonely being a landlord.
Yes, I think a lot of people don't realise that it is a very lonely business to get into. And I just like to, it's lovely this show to come and mix and mingle and talk and discuss new ideas and what's new and what's the new technology, and to meet people like yourself as well.
Oh, thank you, likewise. JP, you've been a landlord for 19 years. Tell us a little bit about how you got started and how you scaled up your business.
Well, we started, obviously we lived in one property 20 odd years ago, and instead of selling that property and moving on, we kept it. That's how it all began, really. So we kept properties we lived in, and it turned into a professional situation 5 years ago, really. So we started purchasing more property very quickly, and now we are where we are.
Fantastic. And you work as a husband and wife team, a bit like myself and Nick. And do you find that you have different strengths and that you take on different responsibilities?
Absolutely. Jean-Pierre is very much the financial man. He sees the bigger picture, where I suppose I'm the heart of the business. I see the smaller details, the different sides. We come from things from different angles, and I think that's really important, and we meet in the middle.
Indeed, and being portfolio landlords and doing this full time, would you say that you've been able to achieve a good work-life balance because you wanted to work together as a couple and you wanted to be able to have a good family life?
I think that was one of our main issues. Because of our personal situation, I needed to be more available during the day for my son. And doing a normal 9 to 5, it wasn't going to work. So I needed to have a business that I could dictate my hours and be there for my son and then catch up on the evening. But like most women work, you sort of have to find sleep in time in somewhere, So, but I think that's really, it's a work balance, home life situation. And it's a tough business. But it is a rewarding business. It allows us to be together and work together.
Yes, that was one of the reasons that myself and Nick got into it as well. JP, how has the game changed over the last 19 years? Because even in the last 3 years, we've seen a massive velocity of change.
I think everything was quiet until about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's all exploded. Legislation has just shot in left, right and centre. We're having to keep up with that. Thankfully, I'm the kind of person that looks at these things on a daily basis. Just going back to the previous question about how does it affect your personal life and everything. Obviously, you get to do what you want when you want in terms of it's a flexible situation. But the other side of the coin is I can't seem to stop sometimes. So I go overboard and I work in the evening, sometimes really early in the morning. So for me, that's how it is for me. But it's very, in terms of psychologically, it's very rewarding. Just all those hurdles that are coming up now, we have to jump over. That's the only issues for us.
Indeed, and it's great that you've come out here today to, see what's going on at the show, because I think, landlords like yourself that have been in the game for a long time, you can't really sit on your laurels, can you? You're going to have to keep learning, keep upgrading, keep updating, and this event is perfect for that.
Days like this, it could just take one person you meet and it could change your life. So it's a very important environment to be in, these types of shows.
Sorry. There's a phone going off.
Phone. No, but it's also, like I said, it allows you to catch up on the legal issues with the seminars. But I think it's very, very useful. It's almost like I feel like I'm taking a degree again. The last 3 years I've had to sit through and work through unbelievable legal issues, and we've had to redo all our ASTs just recently, and work out the new schemes that are coming in, and we've just started on the new.
I mean, there's so many things that you have to issue when you do a tenancy now. It's become a tick box exercise for us now. So we make sure everything's, the GDPR changes recently. You've got to serve the right AST with the right content. You've got to serve the prescribed information. And then there's the zero deposit issue, which has come up recently, which we've chosen to start favouring, just to cut out the aggravation and the arguing afterwards, really.
Fantastic. Well, it's interesting to hear that you're interested in the zero deposit option, because I think it's looking increasingly attractive in the current market conditions. I think just to close out here, everybody here today is talking about the Fergus Wilson Panorama documentary, and there's so much anti-landlord sentiment and rhetoric around at the moment. It's very actually depressing when we know that there are good landlords out there who provide a good product and a great service. How does hearing all that negativity about landlords in the media make you feel? Does it almost make you think like that you may want to exit sooner perhaps?
We know a lot of people who have just given up. I think it's just the almost hatred towards us. It's unbelievable. We do not deserve this. We're decent human beings who provide a very, very vital service in local areas, and we know our tenants and we know what the needs of that local area. And to be portrayed as absolute villains and money grabbers, and most of us work on a very, very tight budget, very tight scheme. It is very, very hard. And again, it goes back to saying that it's a very, very lonely industry, because people just don't want to know you. We're up there with the villainous bankers, basically, but we're not like that. I think that's why Jean-Pierre and I want to talk to you today, and I want to promote the other side. There are good people. That it was a controversial program, and it was hard. I think you were shocked, really.
Yeah, I think, look, from a perspective of the Wilsons, just really, I don't want to defend them in any way, but I think they were vulnerable to this PR exercise. They were put into the situation. They have been put into this situation repeatedly. Let's not forget, they're at the end of their careers. All they're trying to do is just offload their investments. They are landlords, sure, but I think it was a very one-sided issue with Panorama. I mean, Panorama is a wide-reaching, reputable documentary program, and it's a shame. It's a shame that it has to be portrayed from such an angle, such as an extreme angle.
Well, I think we can safely say now that it is going to be harder for people to scale up their businesses because of changes in finance, changes in tax. Those of us that started, 15, 20 years ago, we probably had it a little bit easier than those starting out now. But JP, what would be your one tip to somebody that was looking to scale up a business and build a portfolio?
First of all, I just keep hearing the same thing over and over. Don't sell out. It's not a negative situation. It can be turned to a real good positive issue. It would be a shame to sell up. I mean, I know the figures at the moment is around 3,000 landlords per month selling up. That's what I've heard. And it's a shame because housing is needed. I mean, there's 10 million rental properties in this country, and there's more demand for more. We need more demand. So don't sell up. Stick with the game. Just fine-tune everything. Get to know what you're doing. Learn from your colleagues, from shows like this, from the blogs, from your website, and carry on.
What would your tip be to somebody that's just starting out now? A big lesson learned by you?
you've got to get your hands dirty. You've got to get in there on your hands and knees, and you've got to clean those toilets and clean. It's hard work, but you do meet some wonderful tenants, and they do become friends as well. And I like it. I do. There is a nice. It's like you're giving a home to somebody, and that's what I love. I feel satisfied when I hand those keys over, and you get lovely tenants, and they appreciate a beautiful home, and that's what we're providing, especially in London. There's such a shortage, and where are they going to go? Small landlords are providing a vital service, and that's what I'm just trying to promote.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a real pleasure talking to you both here at the Landlord Investment Show at Olympia, and stay tuned because we're going to be meeting lots more portfolio landlords and hearing their views on what it's like to be a portfolio landlord in 2019, so stay tuned.